Was brilliant for G2 Ares. It was Unime on Dust 2. And that's where we find ourselves here in our playoff matches. Our first one with Stake having Johnny Speeds as the favourite on their choice. They get start on the T side, and immediately for G2 Ares, they want to take long.
Attack's just going to park up. We'll see Johnny Speeds go through the standard scaling. Hitori has the dual Berettas, and we can see has some support. A flashbang comes over just to clear out, but nothing spotted. You know, there's not going to be another one of those to come. In fact, Hitori's going to go on a little bit of an investigation. This is being considered. There are players holding, but his timing looks pretty good on the jump up. Will get the kill. Can't make it a multi. That's confirmation of 2 more players and the bomb.
I'm so surprised he got a kill there when there were players directly looking up at him and he's jumped over. But hey, Hitori will take that all day long. That pigeonholes Johnny Speeds into what they want to do. Because you've got that push in through short. You're just going to go in towards this B bomb site. Yupe waits, Shine holds as well. They don't have direct info at middle, so this timing could be a little bit shaky, but Yupe will get back on the angle. Flashbang's going to ring over. It's dodged, but the kills aren't claimed. That is until Shine gets removed. Beats over, Rack able to get the frags, and Johnny Speeds are in B.
The player advantage as well as that bomb goes down. Smoke still here. Tak and Unime need to find a way to make this work. It's going to be tricky. You find those quick headshots, but the post-plant positions look solid. Raptors waiting to see if that confirmation from window comes. There it is. Unime looking to swing. The dual Berettas are here, but Unime is too. Quick headshots coming out from the USP, and it's on to BSO with this Glock, and he just about gets it done. 3 kills, 3 HP, and a pistol for Johnny Speeds.
Yeah, get loud. Wakey, wakey, he says, as his teammate gets deleted by Unime not once but twice. I mean, beautiful headshots coming out from the new kid on the block for Johnny Speeds. But Unime made that very spicy because it felt like Johnny Speeds, as soon as they got the site, that was going to be over. We weren't going to have any sort of competition in that round when it came to the retake. Unime made that look possible. B-Sova locks it in. A quad stack on this B-bomb site now. The good news is the Hampus is now clearing long and he sees nothing, so you don't need to walk into the stack. This is such a Hampus thing to do, by the way. This is classic. He'll just do this all the time. We'll just go on a little bit of a walk, a little bit of an adventure. It's like, oh, it's completely clear, guys. Over you come.
Now just make sure they don't run into any trouble along the way. And you might see Draken just start to poke his head out. He'd love to get a few Mach 10 kills. Save up for that AWP. Yeah, you know this bomb site is stacked. Oh, look at that. An absolute feast for the SMG. Can't quite make it through. So they keep it relatively clean afterwards. Just the 1 casualty. And that is a very simple round against the USPs.
Very simple, and that's exactly what you want. But now we get an AWP out of Unime. Limited utility for G2 Ares.
Great nade.
Oh, and this is quick. I like this. Good pacey call. Tak will get rid of Hampus though, and Yupe does his job for at least a single frag. Tak thought about stepping forward and still might. There's a lot of utility that they've got for a retake. I just said, oh, you don't have the most amount of utility G2 Ares, or you can get thrown into a retake like this. Yeah, you've got enough. You can go for this.
Couple of incendiaries, smoke that can go over towards tunnels if needed. There's the mollies. That's going to upset Rack, and he doesn't get a chance to shoot back. 4 on 2. Feels good, but Draken backside, nothing to be done, and Hitori flies over the top. You didn't see him coming. A very straightforward retake. And Hitori, 2 great kills. Good presence of mind from Tak there as well. Right, he holds for that lurk in middle first and doesn't overextend. So they end up keeping it with 4 alive, despite that bomb going down.
Yeah, they've been competitive in every single one of these rounds outside of the eco, which, I mean, you expect, it's 5 USPs. But in the pistol, the retake looked fairly solid. This time, this retake looks incredibly good. Like, Yuppei does his job by getting 1 kill. As you say, Taki is holding middle and is prepared for Hampus, going on a lurk. And I already mentioned in round 2 that these are the things that you have to watch out for if you are G2 Ares, because Hampus will just make these sorts of plays. Svedge ahead is out long immediately. Double flashbangs. That second one, it is beautiful out of G2 Ares. Shiner Hitori will just back out. This is feeling pretty okay, actually, for G2 Ares. You've got the block smoke in. You're now holding just in case one flies over your head, and you can headbutt it on towards the site. Yunume's now rotated over with the AWP. This setup feels pretty decent.
Well, Yunume had a chance there, and he gets confirmation of a few bodies. They do want to commit off this. They've got no bailout, so this has to be the commit through. G2 Ares have all the control in mid and lower, so they're going to have all the bodies here to deal with. Johnny Speed surely know that they have to fight their way through this. This smoke, when it fades, will be the end of it too. So this is now just flashbangs to get it done. Final smoke actually will be landing. And how near comes the scaling? Yunume with the AWP up close gets his. Head spotted and head removed. Hampus, big kill, but Tak will remove him and finds the follow through. Hitori taps another, and it was just so one-dimensional here, so clear what Johnny Speed's game plan was. The G2 Ares just have the bodies to deal with it. They're not even giving Rack the fights now. No chance. Really, it feels in the 1-on-3. Especially now they start to scale out, but that is a beautiful shot, and he was ready for the second. Almost made a case for it.
What a lovely round from G2 Ares. And as we said, look, they've got everyone in the right spot. Notice how as soon as they've dropped the utility over towards long and then Yunume's over there, they're already being proactive, already searching in towards short, trying to get that space. Then you said it's one-dimensional, and it is, but the best bit about this from G2 Ares is that they figured it out immediately. They're like, oh, okay, well, this is what's happening. No problem at all. As you say, they've just got everyone there. And some of this calling will be fairly straightforward, especially on the T side for Hampus. Just based on where the roster's at. You probably had less than a week of practice with this team. So it's all for G2 Ares. It's just you will be tested fundamentally from start to finish in every map. And if you can hold on, which, I mean, you did get Toto, and it feels very lovely. Speaking of lovely, not that tag for Yunume, but the amount of nades that are doing damage. There's a lot of flashbangs that are starting to upset G2 Ares, but Shine's headshots are really ruining the fun for Johnny Speeds. Hampus will get one onto Hitori, but the nades will do the heavy lifting. There's a couple of frags here for Hampus, but I'm pretty sure that'll be it. And it will be. Yunume locks it in, and G2 Ares will take the lead.
That was a bit of a bloody brawl, wasn't it? So much utility going down upon the heads of Johnny Speeds, but they actually did a fair bit of damage back with those pistols. Almost made a case for it. But that's lead now established for G2 Ares. Looking pretty comfortable here on Dust 2. We saw them play it against Hotu. That was at 13-6. Took them a bit to get warmed into that as well, but once they got that ball rolling, they barely took the foot off the gas. But it has been a map they've struggled on a little bit in recent history. Some tough games in CCT against a whole slew of different teams. But I think we're getting a bit of that Hotu showing here at the moment. Let's see if that continues when the guns come back out again for Johnny Speeds.
I think the biggest compliment you can give G2 Ares right now is that they just look very comfortable. And they are playing like the favourite team, is what I will say. But like, they're reacting accordingly. Feels like they don't have to do an awful lot where it comes to like ridiculous pushes here and there. Unime and Draken both get tagged by each other, and Unime gets tagged again, and it's not a fatal kill. He lives on 11 HP, so he comes off worse for wear in that fight with Draken. Rak now takes space, sitting towards short incredibly quickly. As Hampus looking to potentially turn up the pace once more.
Okay, gets the short control. It's crazy you can get tagged twice at the scout and still be standing. Those doors doing a lot of heavy lifting. So Unimate's just going to park up long where he's not under that immediate threat. They move into a rifle-focused A setup with that baiting goose. Does mean that mid is a little bit more vulnerable. You don't have this player in CT at the moment. You might see Shine make some moves. But he has to worry so much about short that it might keep him rooted on site itself. It's a bit more responsibility on these B players who might actually be the recipient of this play. As they do start to move over, there is a smoke here for Tack. Now the timing of when he drops this is going to be key. 35 seconds, it goes down. The question is, do you commit through this or do you wait to that 15-second mark?
Well, you could almost wait for the mid players. That's the thing. And yeah, there's that contact. Tack will find Rak at least. Svedgehead just on the edge of this smoke, but he's losing teammates. There we go. And over the top, Hampus not even a requirement. Svedgehead will find both. So Johnny Speeds make their way in towards the site. They've got enough time to plant. Can G2 Ares retake this? There's only one flashbang, one incendiary. You can pass the flash off to Unime, who can then get the rifles going. And this flashbang actually could be brilliant. Svedgehead not looking at the direction of this piece of utility right now. So G2 Ares, oh, they full-blooded themselves, but Hitori is in. Hampus then through the doorway is able to get rid of Unime as well. That is beautiful out of Hampus. And the flashbang's dodged and collected by Johnny Speeds.
I love how vocal we're getting out of BSO votes. Just really yelling at him. Hampus, fantastic round. In that post-spawn, Hitori flies over and gets that first kill as a player disadvantage. Hampus just takes the initiative, pushes through, doesn't slow down. And they thread the needle. That looked like a really good hold from G2 Ares to begin with, right? They get both initial kills, one in mid, one in B main. You think, all right, they've done enough to slow this down because of that early tag onto the AWP, because of that very passive A hold.
Hello.
Rotations are slow, and this push is fast.
Oh.
Rak's considering it, and he takes out both.
Well, that was really exciting, and then it wasn't immediately. Nice round out of Rak. 3v5 now starts to get a little bit stressful if you're G2 Ares. I've not watched Rak. I feel like I have ages ago. But I don't know when that would be. So I'm looking at his team. I play on Soul's Heart. Ah, that's where I know him from. Okay. There you go. Brandon's just had an epiphany during 10 seconds of talking. Yeah, I've seen Rak before. Individually, he is cracked. Like, ridiculous when it comes to, like, the instant tap potential. You don't really see that nowadays with riflers. It's, like, very Scream-esque in the way that he plays. But Upay's dropped the bomb. The thing is that there are still two more players here. Svedgehead then dropped, BSO able to collect. So this has suddenly turned into a 2v2. Can this get weird? Yeah, it can. Because Unime and Shine know exactly where this bomb's going. They can't go anywhere else except B. But Shine isn't playing active enough. Now he'll move over. But the utility will slow them down and force them into the fight. This is now really dicey. Unime is right behind. And I don't think BSO was going to be ready.
Oh!
Whoa! What? What?
You could see the immediate reaction. Just throws his hands up. How's that played out like that there? And you feel like Yupe's done everything with this push. 2.5 kills. Shine. Almost the same. 26 HP. Oh, the swivel. Unbelievable. And that shattered G2 ARES.
How you say, bro, what do you do when you've just hit the nastiest 180 on him? Oh, that's a tilter. That came out of nowhere as well. That was a 3-on-5. It gets put into a 1v1. Svedge ahead 1 HP. As Johnny Speeds are now going to break away from G2 ARES. And oh, hello! And he still gets a double anyway. This kid, this kid's crazy. I like Johnny Speeds. They're fun.
I think that's my favorite thing about the setup that we've got here at Stake Pulse Beat. The way that they're just opposite each other. Obviously, they've got the screen thing in the middle, but like every matchup we've had, it's felt like everyone's wanted to bring the energy, let the opposing team know. Just creates this entire extra dynamic. Absolutely love it. I think we should always have the teams facing each other when we can. I think it really makes it extra spicy. I think that one's targeted at Shine.
I'd say so.
It's in Swedish. Unime and Yupe can probably pass it.
I can't. I got no idea what he said.
Well, it's now a great lead for Johnny Speeds. 3 rounds in a row. It's a very close calls that. But they stop the roll that G2 ARES has gotten onto.
This is going to be an interesting game for Inner Shine. Because the thing is for Hampus, and I mean, Draken's not going to be the guy that screams at them. BS over will be. But for Hampus as well, he understands that he could probably get under the skin of G2 ARES, because if people shout at him, he's not going to care. But with this young academy team, if they start losing rounds in a row and then you're screaming at them, that's really difficult. And I love this call. Again, it's just aggressive. Yupe out of the sight. Oh, it's phenomenal. Not affected by the utility. Gets 2.5, but Svedge ahead on this B bomb site has been immaculate. Another great trade. And this sees Johnny Speeds into the site, but G2 ARES has still got the player advantage.
And they are cognizant of this lurk. You can see the awareness is going to get cleared in Hampus. Hits the spray eventually. And he gets away. So he's done his job. Put into the 3-on-3, delayed them. And now, there's no kit. There is a lot of utility. Feels like they are interested. They're playing very close, and Nate actually almost grazes him. Surely Hattori gets this kill, but instant refrags come in. And Unime has nothing he can do. Time isn't here for him. Hampus getting critical kills. Orb denied and scooped up for Unime. But that's still 6 for Johnny Speeds on the T side.
This is the thing as well, and actually coming back into this conversation very, very quickly, and then we'll move on. But G2 ARES as well, where they're going to get a little bit rattled if this gets under their skin with all this trash talk, is that they will go for retakes and they will just completely injure their own economy. And that's why Hampus is saying there as well, like, great exit kill. Like, you can't...
They're calling out individuals.
Yeah.
So good.
It's brilliant. But this has ruined their economy. Look at it. Like, you've got an AWP, you've got a couple of MP9s. This is Johnny Speeds. As long as they don't get into anything crazy in this round, going up to 7. We've already spoken about the breakaway. This was G2 ARES being very close. They actually took the lead. They were up 3-2 in this game. And now Johnny Speeds has taken over it. And you look back at the scoreboard, you're like, wait, how is it 6-3? This game feels like it's completely escaped G2 ARES all of a sudden.
So this isn't a battle of Counter-Strike, it's a battle of psychological warfare.
Yes, it's mental. Like, it really is. And this is a lot of LAN as well. This is... When people say, oh, you need to have LAN experience, by and large, a lot of it is this.
It's like you get the halftime voice chat at every single round.
Oh, that's going to be horrendous when that comes back in. I know people are saying, oh yeah, really excited to bring it back. That was a nice try. Good kills out of Hampers. Hang on, UP's got another 2 seconds. Okay, it should be fine. It's fine. Yeah, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to bring the halftime voice chat back. Yay, that's going to be really exciting. People are just going to scream at each other every game. There will not be a nice halftime voice comm. Someone will say GG, and then we get told to be quiet.
The thing is, that's only on Faceit, right? It's going to result in so many bans. That's the funny thing.
That's so
like,
true, actually.
I actually think it's great. It's going to remove a lot of really toxic people very quickly.
You know what? Fair. I'm here for it.
It's the great filter. Well, 7-3. Not feeling so good for G2 ARES.
Yeah, Hamper's top of the board again. And this was something that was consistent yesterday. He was doing a lot of the heavy lifting individually.
This is crazy.
Look at the timing. Yeah, you're never expecting this again. And this is another super cool at Hampers. We'll talk about it in a moment because the round's over. He's been going for so many of these like punchy plays in towards B, and he's done it immediately when G2 ARES have invested. This time, the difference isn't that they're going to A, they're heading back to B, but they just go through mids, and they just go through all the time, and they contact through. They know that they've got the opportunity now, because no one is currently holding it, so you just walk. It's so clever, it's so smart. Hitori and Shine just trying to hold on to the guns. Draken, who's been surplus to requirements for the majority of this game, he'll hit the flick. Flashbang over, brilliant. And Shine, certainly dead. Someone kill him, there we go. And now you can shout with him again.
Draken hasn't gotten vocal yet. He hasn't got enough kills to have earned it.
He also just isn't that guy. Draken won't be shouting at you.
Maybe it's good to have that guy that's not going to do that. You need someone to be the mature voice in the team. Johnny Speed's having a great time. 8-3. B-bomb side just been threatened every single round. Molly's off the mark, and Rak's just going to walk out. Can he dodge the flashes? Yes, but forgot to shoot.
Forgot to shoot. Oh, good trade. Alright, let's see this then.
Yeah.
Hampers just straight out, and the flashbang, relentless. In fact, so too is BS over. He kills everyone, including his in-game leader. 3-on-2. We finally see pressure out long for Johnny Speeds, but the end destination isn't going to change. They're heading B, and no one's home.
It's been this heavy rotation. You know, the B player is still alive. So Svedhead's got to take his time with it. In fact, they're going to move back, so they've made a good read on this. Tak can get into the site on time. In fact, they're both just going to swarm in. They're going to hope that you're not anticipating both these CTs to be here. It's over. He's going to get caught out by this timing. Tak's been spotted, and he does manage to slide out, but can he make it happen?
Ooh.
2 quick kills, and now it's on to BS over, who has his AWP. Smoke giving a little bit of room for Yuppei, but he doesn't have any idea where this final player is. He doesn't reveal himself. He just tucks down. This is crazy. And now, oh, you know, that was the chance. And there we go. Yuppei takes it. And he tells them how he feels. A beautiful 1v3. And a 4th round for G2 Ares.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really nicely played 1v3. Really like the idea of this round for G2 Ares. The double up you go into B, you're playing off each other. And it didn't work out as intended. But Yupe, once he gets that double, he waits so patiently. Here's the ult rattle off, just puts his crosshair right on the position for BS over to drop in. Johnny Speed's heavy favourites by stake. That makes sense because they're 8-4 up. But it's great that G2 Ares somewhat stopped momentum by grabbing a round right at the very end. Because before that, there was a drought. 6 rounds in a row for Johnny Speeds. Now this gets tricky. Here for G2 Ares on this pistol. Flashbang forward. Pierce over and rack. His new guns looking to take space, and Svedge ahead will call that, hey, they completely outbeat, and they've got no idea that he's at back sight. He can get this double, maybe even a triple. There it is from Svedge ahead. That is beautiful. Hampus comes over at the top, and the corner's not considered.
Both pistols going through for Johnny Speeds, not clearing. Clearing the backside, and yeah, Svedhead getting a brilliant double. Was a little tricky on that second shot, but he gets it done. Gonna be a force spy for G2 Ares. Bomb didn't go down in all of that. Came off it to try and help out his teammates. You feel like for G2 Ares, they have to force spy here. They've got to find a way into this. Maybe Tak has a chance here. Oh, he's spotted out Draken.
Ow.
It's a nade, but it does gain the space.
Unfortunately, this space just isn't that useful at all. And Johnny Speeds aren't going to push them because they don't need to. Pressure really being applied here onto G2 Ares to make the right call, to make the right decision. Pisova waits and, oh, we'll have an opportunity onto Hitori. And I like this. He gets one kill and he just gets out. Now G2 Ares are looking to be a little bit devious in towards middle by walking into CT and then also split. But Rack is holding. He's also got to be careful. I think he's seen the player down low, but he can't deal with anyone up high. It's okay. BS over and Hampus are here. Draken then follows forward. Shine hoping to get the bomb down. But it feels like that is going to be impossible. Clever round out of G2 Ares. It's just a shame that every single angle is being considered.
What is this face?
It's all covered. And the force fight, no luck, unfortunately, for G2 Ares. Feels like that becomes the all-in, and now you kind of feel like this one's going to slip away from you. It is your opponent's map pick. They still have Inferno coming up next to rely on. You'd really like to build back into this. At least we've gotten some great performance out of Yupe.
True.
He's been really solid, and whew, there's that Unime Deagle. All right, maybe I was a bit too quick to write this off. They have been deleted by the Deagles. And a bit of a humbling moment for Johnny Speeds as it's the sidearms that undo them.
Scream at them, G2 Ares. I wonder which one's going to do it. That was ridiculous out of Unime. That being said, don't give Svedhead a chance to make this a 1v5. Maybe there's a kit on the way. There is. There's one right in front of him. Oh no. Don't get humbled yourselves. He won't go for this. Oh, get out of there. This was looking and feeling so good. It still is. You still won on the Deagles, but Svedhead makes it a little bit sour. Because you don't save as many weapons as you first thought. Shine's only got an MP9. And they don't say anything.
I think Innishan just like, look guys, let's just focus on our game. Don't rise to him, you know? Which is Probably the right thing to do, to be honest.
I
You
think that
kinda
was
just-
Inner Shine just shouting at them there.
Yeah, let me handle it, boys. I've got this. It's like you call it your big brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It has been a bit feeling like bullying at times.
Oh, push out of Rag. And he's just in the incendiary. Hampus then swings at the same time and does an awful lot of damage onto Tag.
Oh!
Yuname will catch him just by a pixel sliver, but then BS over will find Yuname and run away. What is this round? And now look, Draken's pushing 2. Yuppei has got to be ready, and he isn't. That's the bomb dropped. But now Draken's not going to be ready for Tack. This round is all over the place.
Well, you know BSO was out towards long, so you can see that's why Tack's afraid. Has to take his time with this. Tori's got to be the player here that makes the difference.
Oh, yes.
Position.
The 4th push in towards short. They'll never see this one coming in round 16. After we've seen Draken go deep, Rack go in the molly, and Hampus in towards lower. Svecher now moves over with him.
Too.
And this was really nice. And there you go, there's the catch. Tack is on 7 HP. So despite them getting just a crazy sequence of trades, it's not going to be enough. Tack's being really loud about where he is, and if he jumps up in towards short, he's dead. Svecherhead will just claim him anyway. What a wild round out of Johnny Speeds.
Just some disrespectful Counter-Strike, right? And I think they're just feeling they're in that place, right? You let one slip to the Deagles, and you're like, all right, immediately put their foot right back down upon them. Right up in their faces. Don't allow them to get comfortable into this T side. Don't allow them to get comfortable into this server at all. Completely disrupt them in every avenue. Gets them 11. Messes up the economy here for G2 ARES. Tori's got the spawn, so we'll take it. But not given any sort of fight. That smoke probably heard from BS over, so he knows that someone's on the line. Going to be a long push coming out. Bomb starts to move over. That will be exchanged back. Yeah, Yuname gets his hands on it. Tori, sorry, you're on to Tech 9 now.
That's fine. You want your Rorpa on the AWP. That is the reality. That's how these rounds work. Well, Yuna may have a chance. I don't think so. Johnny Speeds are going to play this one quite passive. They'll just drop their block utility. They are ahead of it here, G2 ARES. The flashbang, oh, it's brilliant. But Yuname's also found BS over at the same time, so player advantage right now for G2 ARES. The scaling attempts to come in, but it's a lot of damage on towards Shine, and you need to get that bomb over.
Been thrown over, but you need to plant it as well. It's one player on site trying to plant this bomb. And you know what? Tack's gonna get it down. He's done his job. It's on to the rest of the gang now to close it out. That's a brilliant shot from Tack. You can see he was ready for that boost, anticipating it. And he swings to take the player that was below. Nothing for Draken to do here. G2 ARES will get that 6 and tonight, Matt Point.
This is what you want. This is exactly what you want out of G2 ARES, and it's about being competitive and winning rounds that feel very unlikely. And this one felt unlikely just because of the amount of players that Johnny Speeds had. And initially they weren't giving them anything. Suddenly BS over peaks, which is what you're going to get out of a player like him because he's got the most amount of experience. Yuname punishes. There's a flashbang through the smoke. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Well, that favours G2 ARES too. And then Tack does brilliantly. I love how patient they are out of G2 ARES here. And as you say, as soon as he gets that bomb down, he's just ready for the boost. That's the only thing he can hold in that moment. So he does so brilliantly. This is a great round. It's like a really good round out of G2 ARES. This shows for them proof of concept, and I hope that this gives them a lot of confidence because it was a good round of CS.
And that's a force line. So this can really come right back into it. Hampus gets brought down very low with the scout. This can quickly become a 3-round game. I would love it. I would love it if G2 ARES came back and took this map. It would be so poetic. It's a long way to go. Hampus. Nothing he can do here. So this will just be B taken. Bomb will move over, and for Johnny Speeds, you keep what you've got here and you give it another shot into the next round.
You don't want to be hunting too much here if you're G2 ARES. Your money's also an important thing to consider, but in addition to that, there's no point giving them AKs if you don't have to. Don't mind sending a couple if they're grouped up together and you can guarantee trades, but one player going by themselves doesn't feel great. Hamper's 20 kills deep, Svedgehead has 16. Now we need to... Oh, 17. Now we need to start seeing that Draken AWP to close the game.
Okay. So an AK. Spade ahead.
Yeah.
It's a pistol that can be dropped over. And then keep it threatening into the next round. Yeah, Draken's just not been a factor here really at all. You kind of expect that to be the case on the CT side, that he should be able to find his mark. It's been avoided more often than not. Most I've really seen the AWPs do is, in fact, just kind of trade tags in mid.
True. They haven't actually got a kill on each other yet, have they?
No.
I will do Xbox and I will go top.
So if I was there, I'd be absolutely screaming at Hampers, by the way. Because
Yeah.
you've just made them take that time out. They've been giving it large all game. You just own them with deagles. You won a few rounds in a row, and now they're starting to be locked in. Although maybe you shouldn't, because Draken and Svedgehead have both found kills. 5-7 up top is looking and feeling very good. Draken's now rotated over as well, and just as quickly as it comes for G2 ARES, just as quick as it falls apart, mate. Now last player standing, beautiful out of Draken. Said he needs to be the one to close the game, and then he's got a triple.
Yeah, what a moment for it. Great out of Draken. That was a bit of a mess. They really wanted to put the pressure on towards B. Hitori even got a kill. It felt like it was going to be this quick collapse, but the pistol up on top of the box as well, just such a nuisance. Could not find an easy way in. I think Draken pushed mid to get his kill.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Gonna try
Whoa,
pop long
hello.
and BS over. Has been ignored, but will be cleared later on. Tak gets a double. Just about.
Oh, Hitori's also got rid of Hamper, so you know that the orb's out here. I love this out of Hitori, putting so much pressure on short right now. They molly. Oh, Johnny Speeds break the smoke, but G2 ARES, they'll just plant the bomb. That's another round over, and Hitori's looking to get rid of Svedgehead and Draken's weaponry.
I think they've got a fair bit of money here, so it's not a big deal. You don't want to spend too much resource. In fact, you can't spend any more resource hunting this. It's not worth it. And I hope they don't extend any further. That's a nice explosive round. Good double from Tak. Hitori's lurk as well. That's back-to-back rounds where he's been able to get that success. 8th round posted. And you're just wishing you won either pistol round, really, if you're G2 Ares. Like, this game is a lot closer than you'd think.
Yeah, I like the call there out of Shine. Just very aggressive in towards long. Getting that short player work in. I think this is what G2 Ares need as well. Just more like punchier plays to make them feel like they're in the game a bit more. This is what's nice out of Unime. He's going for an opening peak. If he gets it, they'll explode on towards this bomb site. Instead, that doesn't happen. Draken's now boosted over towards lower. He won't see anything right now. It might just be a walk in. Alright, let's see how Svedge and Hampus hold. It's straight in. Hampus able to find the first. Sedge ahead. Back sight, waiting patiently, and the crossfire is doing brilliantly. G2 Ares almost just bumble their way in towards this B site. After the initial flashbang contact, they don't leave.
Okay. Just another player steps in. There's a bailout here in Upe. Puts into the 2-on-3. And Hampus, he thought about pushing that, but Shine was holding. That would have really put the round into disarray. I think BSOver being so quick.
Wow.
Catches Jupe on the retreat, and Shine's left in the 1-on-3 against his former team. In name, at the very least. Lead off. We'll have a 1v1 versus Hampus. It's fade ahead, not too far away. Another molly for Hampus. Gonna step ahead of it, look for that kill, and he finds it. Site is open, and he spots that player close. Just about gets over. Committing to the plant too, fade ahead. Starts to get close. Looks for the swing out and ducks below Shine. It will be Johnny Speeds taking Dust 2.
It will be, but I think you're right. I actually think G2 Ares played a blinder of a Dust 2. If they get a pistol...
And they don't get either pissed around and ends up being that close, right? They had some brilliant rounds coming through, some great calling. But for Johnny Speeds, I mean, it was a really good showing from them. That T-side from Hampus called perfectly. And we have Coach GP on the sidelines.
Now, you got in their heads a little bit this game, I think. And you're ice cold giving interviews, but you're screaming like a crazy man when you're playing.
Yeah, that's our game plan.
And for the next one, it's just the power of friendship, power of screaming, you'll win 2-0?
I mean, we are not friends with them, so they're enemies, so...
But power of your friendship, I think.
Yeah. It's like release everything, so we just go out and play, so...
So 2-0?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We'll head up for a break. See you soon.
got the experience right now. Hampus was playing a brilliant game. I think Draken's going to be very influential on Inferno. It's a long way back into this series for G2 Ares right now.
Yeah, especially because I think Inferno is one of Hampus's best maps, both individually but also as a caller. So it feels like a very natural place for them to be able to show up, even though G2 Ares pick into this and have played some great CS on it. They beat out EAC 13-6 in that opening series. So that was a really strong performance from them. Hitori really stepping up there, but it's a very different situation here against Johnny Speeds. And the mental warfare, I think that does play a big factor into this. I think they were a little shook by Johnny Speeds. They were able to shake it off, I think, as kind of the game progressed, and they showed some of that individual form. Particularly that Deagle round, I think, was a real humbler for Johnny Speeds. They quietened down a little bit after that, but I think this is just maybe a bridge too far for the youngsters. I hope they bounce back. We definitely got to see some of that on Dust too. But Inferno, even though it is their map pick, is going to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's really interesting is that you heard in the interview from BS Over when he was speaking to Coach DP, he said this was the game plan when we spoke about you're just shouting at them. He said that was the game plan. That's what we are doing. They are our enemies, and we're going to destroy them. And look, Kassad says a lot of things, but some of them sometimes are quite relevant. And I do think his opinion on Hampus is right. He's a very good in-game leader, very underrated, and he knows what it takes to win. And ultimately, I think he's going to get Johnny Speeds over the line here in this Inferno. Stake odds, you just saw them pop up, favour Johnny Speeds. Let's see how they do on the CT side of Inferno.
Hampus, he is completely alone over here on B. HE to be deployed, but it's not to be a retake. They've got a kit to do it. Here comes the contact. This nade. How much damage can Hampus get away with? Not much. About 30, but he's got a second one. And that one does a little bit more. The scaling, they want to hunt down Hampus.
Ooh.
He's going to hide back in towards Coffin, and he opens it up, puts a few of them into it, and how's that for a burial? Say your prayers. It's Johnny Speeds with the pistol.
Just wanted to get his full reaction. What a round! What a round from Hampus. The fact that he just ignores the second player and he just completely swaps targets, hits the instant headshot. That's phenomenal. And that is a pistol where you like the idea out of G2 Ares. The scaling towards CT feels really good. To wrap coffins, to get the frag. And all of a sudden, it just comes crashing down because of one man. And this is going to be the game plan as well for Johnny Speeds. Full banana, all the time, very aggro, in your face. You're just putting your foot down and stamping out authority and demanding respect from G2 Ares. And that's the last thing that G2 Ares wants to do in this best of three, by the way. It is just almost get dictated on where they can go on this T side.
He's the sole defender. And he does almost 400 damage. Brilliant stuff. Force spy. Just like they did on Dust 2. Even though there's no bomb plant. We want to keep applying the pressure. But again, it's going to be this 4-player lead towards A. It's Rack left alone on B. So Hampus has moved over. It just feels like with the bodies here, this is going to be so hard. They're already been brought down very low. It's a bit blind for Speed ahead, but the rest of the kills come through from his teammates. And it's all fine. There's an SMG. They keep the force spy at bay, and they get Inferno off with a blistering start.
Yeah, very nice, very simple here.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And in a shine, just saying, look, let's go, that's fine now. Look, we get all the guns. That was just the eco. Who cares about an eco? Let's just get these guns in. Actually, that was a force, I suppose. But soon you'll have the gun round. Johnny Speeds can get off to the best possible start on Inferno here. It'd be nice if these two Ares could get a bomb plant. And look, they were able to humble Johnny Speeds with the Deagles for a round. However, it doesn't feel like this is the case this time. Fully blinded, hello. That's a kill here for Hitori. But look at how aggro this is from VS Over. He just wants even more kills. He's got to be careful. Otherwise that will happen. 2v3. M4 to be scooped up. I'm not stressed, but it can get a little bit dicey.
Yeah, when Johnny Speeds get a little too loose, it does get a bit scary. The two Ares can hit some blinders at times, and I love that flash play to get the opener over at Banana. Draken is very low, but he's holding a very passive line. Oh, he almost got caught too. Shine considered it. Attack will find it. 1 on 2. Now, he doesn't have any armor. That's the big problem for him. But he does have time. Does have this M4 and a smoke as well. How does he want to play this? Hoping to catch someone in rotation. I think for Johnny Speeds, they're just going to keep a player rooted on each side. Too late now to make any movement. So it's on attack to take the initiative. He's going to progress up through short side. Spaderhead has the angle in from pit. So this timing looks like for him. Attack. Is he going to catch it or is he going to get in? Spots him, but comes a little too late. Head was on a swivel. Couldn't quite find him, and it is kept under control, but got very dicey there considering it's just a few upgraded pistols.
It did get a little bit scary, but Johnny Speed's able to win the round. And I actually think that's an important distinction to make here, because they were victims of their own downfall in that round. Overpeak, overpeak, overpeak. Especially from BS Over. He did that a few times in Dust too. But Svedgehead with a beautiful angle in towards pit. Draken now with the AWP. Yuname doesn't have his. It's just pure AKs. And massive nade damage in Banana. Good counter molly. That's going to force Rack back. And it's him and Hampus that look to occupy space on Banana. G2 Ares very interested in taking it. They'll probably take half wall and then get out of there.
So some space gathered. Okay, putting a bit of pressure on over at A. Not to be not that awful. Get a sense that Draken is here, but he doesn't bite. So Zorp remains waiting to strike. That's going to be a very forward setup. Spaderhead moves in to play next to Draken. Watch Apps for a more passive line. The setup looks pretty good to handle what's going to be a mid push.
You haven't really got the mollies either. Like, Yuname could drop one, but it gets tricky. Tack can too. I think it's just the contact, and that's going to be to their downfall, because you're right, the setup is just brilliant. Then you got another swing. Doesn't come. But you've still got to be careful of balcony. They nearly line up for Yupe, but instead it is a Svedgehead headshot. Flashbangs dropped in counter. Molly will upset Draken, but he still hits the shot anyway. That is brilliant from Johnny Speeds, and the setup only loses one player.
Yeah, Draken and Spaderhead playing off each other perfectly there in short. Beautiful kills. Draken off to a blistering start here. Everyone really stepping up for Johnny Speeds. Had the perfect setup, the contact play. Unfortunately, the worst possible way to approach that. One flashbang might have gotten Draken off the line, or a molly. It was deflected off the wall. But he's just able to get one, fall back. Hampus plays off the contact. And they're just anticipating that push out from Apps at that point. Could have got a bit scary when the Apps push came, just because they were lined up on site, and obviously one of them was an AWPer, so there was the potential for the lineup, but Spaderhead provides the very critical coverage in that moment. That's a great shot from Draken.
Just didn't see him. Sorry for block. Yeah, all good. Didn't cost you that much. I don't think they've had a single bomb plant yet, G2 Ares. which is now starting to make you feel very stressed. This is all without Rack having to do anything, bless him. 0-1, that's how much he's seen. It's just been the Hampus, Draken, and BS Over show. Maybe Rack can get some kills in this round. G2 ARES, that's going to be quite quick.
It's a half by here with the hero AK amongst the weapons, and see you later. AK is dropped, and so too is Tack after one. Rack low HP. Can he offer anything else? No. Falls to that Tech 9. BS Over looks to step in and does some good damage. Can't quite make it the kill though. So damage down onto players. Bomb to be planted. Upace just spammed out Draken. Unlucky. Spade ahead left into a 1-on-3. I don't think he's really got a way into this. Draken, $2,600. He'd love for that AWP to be picked up for him, and that will be the case. So a pop on to B. G2 ARES get their first round.
Look, I understand that you're 4-0 up. I understand that the communication would have been a couple of players low, but that is another over peak from BS Over. He doesn't need to be that wide. Drops the nade in towards new box, sure. You don't need to commit there. And it just feels a little bit needless. You've got Hampus that wide swings after dropping the hero AK. He goes down. You've got Rack at a back site. He can't do anything there. He's forced in a position where he just needs to shoot people and he just needs to swing, so that's fair enough. But yeah, there's a lot of overpeaking. Draken, to be fair, gets owned through the smoke. That's not his fault. But I don't like the overstep from BS Over.
Gresham, BS Over goes for the peak, but look at this timing. It's absurd from Yupe. Can't make it the double though. And then Tack tries to punish with the long lurk, and well, maybe 2 smoke pushes was a bridge too far. So now it's a player advantage for Johnny Speeds.
I rate the idea though, and I actually really like the decision out of Yupe to leave the guy at Boiler. Look at this push, but BS Over is now taking second middle. Draken hits Yuname. It feels like you've lost your time in here. Flashbang, very good, but it doesn't work. And now you know that Draken was over here too. BS Over, I feel like, should definitely have a kill. Oh no! Oh dear! Shine tries to punish but can't get it done. Draken then hits Hitori. It's a complete mess, and yet somehow it's just fine for Johnny Speeds.
BS Over staying alive somehow through all of that. If Shiny got the kill. Okay, that was enough clapping. It wasn't that good. Nice shots from Draken as well. That was pure chaos. They managed it just about. Pull by again. Anyway, wants to get aggressive with this AWP. Trying to get ahead of the utility. Has a player tucked in on the right. Some utility to be dumped onto him, or he just trying to escape. Leg shot, nade, not there to follow up. So Rack gets away with 11 HP, and there's a rotate to B.
Yeah, nice. And now you just drop the utility. Yeah, poor Rack. I already spoke about the fact he's barely seen anyone, and now he just gets legged. Has to go up on the boost. Utility now needs to be dropped over to Hampus. Deep smoke over at long, but this is not going to be the intention yet for G2 ARES. They might leave Hitori, but the bomb's now making its way back up Banana. So smokes to be lined up. Hampus has got another smoke that he can deploy. In fact, he's got a whole host of utility, and he's going to be the one just chucking it in over and over and over again to make G2 ARES feel like he's the only one here. And by doing this, Rack is never going to be expected on this boost. It might not matter if this smoke keeps coming in and blocking him off, but they won't know that he's here.
Oh, it's going to be the lower smoke. The thing is, all it takes is one pre-fire in that direction, and he's dead. But it doesn't come, and so if he gets one kill, that's already worth it, and he finds 2. Even better. And he gets away. That's the best case scenario for the boost. Tak's going to try desperately to get this bomb down. Yuname's searching for Draken, can't find him. Sees him try and escape. There is a chance as his orb gets back towards New Box. Yupe now moves over. Double up in towards Coffin. Smoke fades. Yuname on the line. See that first player? That one's easy. That was the low HP, but now Hampus begins to scale. And Yuname needs to find more impact with the sniper, especially as Tak falls. He's dropped 2. And it's on to Yupe. A 1-on-3. They know exactly where he is. Draken just gets on the bomb. The coverage from the riflers is there. And it is a good retake set up by Rack's performance on the boost.
Yeah, and all set up by Hampus. And as soon as you see all those nades on the floor, I'm thinking to myself, no one on site is going to throw a single piece of utility here, and he's going to sell this to the best visibility. That's why they don't drop that boost smoke, because they don't feel like there's going to be anyone there. Really well done from Hampus. To be fair to G2 ARES, you've got to give them a lot of credit, because I thought once they got in that site, they were going to win that after plant. I did not think Johnny Speeds were going to be able to retake that, especially because the fourth player, the guy that is your player advantage, was so far away from B. But it works brilliantly. Low HP player goes first, spam out, instant headshot onto Yuname, who then feels like he needs to get more active after his teammate Tak falls. It makes sense, but this is really well orchestrated by Hampus.
They start at B, the orb comes over. Does feel like G2 ARES want to take this space. Right, Molly actually didn't go where you think it would, but the leg shot actually comes through. I think the nade will finish the job. No! Eclipse! We got an over it. Hitori was dead. Rack about to get set up by the splashbang. Timing needs to be good on it. Draken thinking of the various angles that he could throw this for the most effect, and he needs to throw it. He needs to throw it. It doesn't come. Rack still gets one. Tori's low. Draken also burnt back, and he has no support. This scaling utility preventing him from really finding any impact. They get into the bomb site, and another piece of missed utility allows that bomb to go down.
How's the nade? Oh, I don't think it's going to do actually much damage because Hitori is already elevated. Oh, okay, that's a crazy shot. Svedge ahead on the spam. Yuname dead, dealt with. BS over. Is he going to be ready for the player up high? Yes, he is. In fact, it's Svedge ahead that gets another. And Hampus just spams out Shine. It's all up to Tak. He's trying to fight his way out this corner, but he just runs into Svedge ahead, who effectively gets 3 kills through that smoke. Johnny Speeds can't lose a retake.
Looks so good too for G2 ARES with that scaling. They get in, they prevent Draken from finding the impact. It's a single kill coming through from Rack. That flashbang just too late to help him. Love the scaling utility. But these retakes have been phenomenal. And the rounds just keep racking up for Johnny Speeds. 7-1. G2 ARES coming very close, but they just can't break through.
At least they're getting bomb plants, right? Like, at least they are, because at the start of this half, they weren't. You just feel like something's got to go their way. Shine hasn't got a kill. Yuname's only got a couple. I know he's the AWPer and it's on T side, but come on. Just need a little bit more. Tak's been playing well. And they've been given a lot of space. So I thought the pressure was going to be relentless. That's what I said over towards Banana. Hasn't been whatsoever for Johnny Speed. So it feels like they're playing off of the sites more than anything. Flashbang into top brackets this time. You've got Hitori that's taken all the way up towards the half wall. BS over spams a little bit, but doesn't want to get caught again. This feels like A.
Well, Draken will be here to receive them. They have not successfully gotten into this A bomb site yet. fact, even Hampus now starts to move over. So Johnny Speed's fantastic read on the situation. Hasn't been a whole lot of faking from G2 ARES. Johnny Speeds are pretty comfortable in their read on the situation. And Draken, comfortable in pit. Takes one, sees a second. Nade's doing some damage to him. He's under pressure. Oh, okay, he's just lined up to. Under the pressure, he becomes a diamond. And Yupe's just got to charge away. Nothing he can do in this round. Johnny Speeds just continue to add to the tally.
That's so sad because it felt like the play was right. You've got the nade that goes deep in towards the pit, but it's Draken that hits the shot. Craziness that he gets a collateral there. And now they're screaming during the timeout. Johnny Speeds are in complete control of this best of three. This really has been a Hampus masterclass, and Draken, that AWP round is now just the cherry on top. How did this happen then?
It's
One AWP kill.
it's intimidating. 11 and 2, Draken. He hits the hard ones.
Oh, that nade.
Chance.
And another one. You've also got BS over right here on this long angle to cut down Shine, who still is empty-handed, but BS over certainly isn't. A mow down in towards top brackets. It's going to be 9-1 for Johnny Speeds, and G2 ARES, they are struggling, and this is their map pick.
Nice, come on! Let's keep going, boys. Let's keep going, boys.
They're kind of just yelling at each other now rather than G2 ARES. You're just having a fun time. This was my concern with Inferno as the pick. I almost would have preferred if they got into the Mirage instead. No, Inferno has been solid for G2 ARES. It just feels like such a natural map for Johnny Speeds.
Yeah, they used to play it an awful lot. An awful lot. Obviously, a lot of the players have changed, but this is a very comfort pick as well for Hampus, for Draken. Sedge Ahead used to play this an awful lot, so they'll be completely fine with it. And this is a map that you can call quite freely on, especially on the CT side as well. There's going to be another pop, there's going to be another commitment. I feel like it will work out a lot better than it has before. Hampus with the spam, did see one player cross, it doesn't work. Rack, now called into action, has to dodge this utility. The smoke deep, it is really nice. So G2 ARES are in, but getting in hasn't been the issue. It's about holding on.
Great lurk. That's the difference here. They have that lurk towards top mid. Yupe catches out BS over. Gives them the man advantage. Plenty of money. Johnny Speeds are going for this. You still got to hold on. No utility left for the T side. Plenty for the CTs. They scale out from coffins. Great elevated angle. And this player in towards oranges, but Hampus removes Shine.
No.
Rack removes oranges, and they just keep on killing. Oh, it's disastrous. A 5-on-4. No one falls for Johnny Speeds.
Hey, boys, what is it? What are we up?
I can't believe it. They had... you set it up so perfectly because they had it perfectly. Elevated angle, double up in pit, crossfires, player in banana, and you just lose every kill. And also, how is every kill an individual gunfight there, G2 ARES? How's that even happened? I can't believe it. That's so frustrating. Shine just sinks further and further back in his chair. A disaster of a first half, and it gets worse for him. He might come up empty-handed in this entire first half, the in-game leader at G2 ARES. As he gets legged. Hittori will fall instead. It's over. Oh, just walk through the smoke to catch Shine. Pack it up. Unfortunately for G2 ARES, their time in this competition, it feels like the light is fading very quickly.
Yeah. The shine's gone out.
Okay.
To start rack. Draken starts to scoot over because Hampus is pushed all the way through middle. So Draken's going to get here. Smoke will land, but he can't do anything about that. He's just going to step a flash for rack. That's going to be the play here. It's going to pop above, and he's just going to swing in front of it. But doesn't find his mark. His own flash deployed, and that one does find success. Tag caught by it, trying to scale. Jupe on the reload will be removed. It's 11-1. Johnny Speeds very comfortable here on their opponent's map pick.
In that round, they just pushed everyone. You had Draken peeking top middle. You had BSOver walking through a boiler smoke. Hampers pushed second mid. You've got Rack that is setting himself up with flashbangs. Draken walks through the CT smoke right at the end there. It's relentless. There's just an unbelievable amount of pressure here for G2 ARES, unfortunately. It's one of those where they were able to hold their nerve on Dust 2. Scoreline becomes competitive. Here, a few rounds just completely fall out of factor and favour for them. And they were close. Like, they were really close rounds. They were able to get in the bomb sites. They just weren't ever able to hold on to after plants. That has been the biggest detriment so far for G2 ARES. And it's a shame, because if they're able to hold on a little bit more, this scoreline doesn't read 11-1. I think it actually looks and feels a lot closer, but the situation that you are in, as that you are down 11 rounds on your CT side now of your map pick, and you need to win a lot, otherwise you're out the tournament.
Yep, 12 rounds required from G2 ARES, 2 for Johnny Speeds. And one pissed around or quickly end the conversation. If they can hold on. A push out from long. Hittori, he's hearing all of this, so he'll comment over. He'll find his timing, but no, can't hit the shot. They try and scale through CT. May actually gets one frag before he goes, and now this double setup, trying to hold on. Shine needs to find this, and he does. Enters the server in the pistol round.
Oh.
Immediately sent packing. And Tack being considered. Oh, but it's over. Gets off the line and tries to scamper away. Take a look at Hittori. He's moved all the way around. And now it's just him. 2 guns against 2 players, and they've read it. They've read it perfectly.
No way. Oh,
Draken's
Hittori's
even
just
found a
fighting a
smoke.
losing battle. He's just chasing ghosts. If they smoke Moto here, oh my goodness me. And now look at this from Draken. Oh, you're never anticipating this if you're Hittori. Oh, I say that, he reads it. But how about BSOver pushing through the smoke? He decides against it. He was right there. And now this could be the play. This could be the winning move. Look at this from Hittori. BSOver's got no idea. A back turned. Short. Does it ever get considered? It does when Hittori starts sprinting. And BSOver just plays around the box. Hits the headshot. And gets 12 for Johnny Speeds.
Oh, if only he just walked around that corner first before he starts making the noise. He really had the timing. It looked like it was being played so well. But that's now every single pistol round in this series for Johnny Speeds. This was a mess of a pistol. Really looked good for Hittori. You just feel like you're just going to trip over the finishing line here if you're Johnny Speeds.
They're just so confident. I mean, you would be being 12-1 up, but they just disrespect that smoke immediately. Like, Draken's already pushed through it. in top mid. Just having a little look at what's going on. You've got nothing to stop them. It is the issue here for G2 ARES. You have one smoke, and that's about to be deployed by Shine. And you've got the fake out going on B with all the utility, Hampus. Try to see how many players are on the other side of that smoke, and he's seen enough. Double layering over towards long. Yuppei gets dinked. He's really trying to bait for Yuname, and instead they somewhat line up. And now Yuppei is completely on his own around the world from Hampus. Sees him lock in the kill. This is it, surely. Johnny Speed looks to book a spot in that semi-final. They are just 2 kills away. It's all up to Hitori, and in fact, now it's just Tak. And I think they know exactly where he is. Everyone from Johnny Speeds converges on his position. And this Academy team, they took down Ho2 in the group stage, but Johnny Speeds, it feels like they're one step too far. As he makes his way out the smoke, he'll go straight into the firing line of Draken, and Johnny Speeds will do it. It's 2-0, and they book their spot in the semi-final of Stake Pulse B.
Yeah, looking to live up to their name. They speed run it here on Inferno. Just 1 round conceded in that entire run. A brilliant showing from Johnny Speeds. Knew it would be a good map on Inferno. Felt like with this veto, Dust 2 was the real way for G2 ARES into this, funnily enough, as their opponent's map pick. And look, if they got one of those pistol rounds, I think this could have been a 3-map series. That was such a close affair on map 1, despite that 13-8 score line. Inferno, sadly, not at all in G2 ARES' favour. But I've enjoyed what I've seen out of the youngsters. They've been plucky underdogs throughout this. The fact they beat Ho2 in such dominant fashion in the group stage shows what they're capable of. And I'm sure we'll see more of them in the future.
And look, we spoke about the screaming and the mental fortitude on LAN, and it really is relevant because they're going to need series like that. They are, because they're going to learn a lot from that one series, let me tell you, than beating Ho2, in my opinion. I actually think that is probably worth more value. You've got playoff experience as well there for G2 ARES. They should hold their heads high. They're going to be feeling obviously really down in the dumps now, but what they've achieved here, I think, is very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really fun watching their story, some of the individuals too, but we've got Coach DP on the sidelines with the winners.
Yeah, I'm here with one of the winners. Big winner today, 13-1 on the last map. You've had an amazing game today, also an amazing CT side in particular. Can you talk me through also what you went through yesterday, where you started off a little bit rough and then, you know, during the day and then today being so much better?
I mean, I feel like in the beginning we like, for me it's my first like official for a year, pretty much. Hump is almost the same. We have been playing for quite some while. We only played a week, never played official together. So I feel like we just got comfortable, got into the same groove like me and Hampus had before. Maybe he was good from the start, but I had a little rough start. Just yeah, remembering how you used to play and all the good times.
And what was it like to be part of this? Because it's got to be a lot of fun. You sound like you had a lot of fun winning like this. You came in with no pressure. No one even expected you to maybe be here today. Now you're in the semi-final. It's got to be a lot of fun to come back like this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is why I play the game. This is why I like to do what I do. So yeah, it's great.
That is really, really nice to hear. And maybe you got some Swedish fans out there. You wanna say a bit of stuff to them. You can do it in Swedish even.
Tack för att ni kollar på oss och stöttar oss. Go Speedsters.
Go Speedsters. That's going to be it from Sweden. You can head out to your team, and yeah, we'll be back to the casters.
Come back. We're not done with the interview yet, special heads. Come back, poor Coach DP. Yeah, I mean, it's true. He hasn't played a game, really. He played one in, like, May, and then he played one in November for Migo Short, just standing in. Svedgerhead, it's been part of the outfit for Johnny Speeds for quite a while, though. And this rebuild looking very good. They got some youngsters in there. You got Hampus that's come back to competition. It's looking and feeling really good for Johnny Speeds. They are our first semi-finalists. We can have a look at the schedule, Lucy. There's some fun games coming up.
Final spot, we'll be seeing who of Ascend and Betclic Apogee will be going up against Johnny Speed. So I think their run gets a little trickier there. That is our next game of the day. And then later on, we'll be deciding who will be battling into semi-final 2. which I think is a very stacked side of the bracket when you just look at, I guess the name value alone makes that very exciting. But yeah, Johnny Speeds into the semi-finals. I'm very excited to see which team of Ascend or Betclic Apogee joins them, because I think for Johnny Speeds, yeah, that will be a bit of a tougher battle. Won't be able to get into their heads as easily.
No, I don't.